The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Global Market Pulse with your host, John Logan. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, John Logan.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. And I feel like we should call today's show Currency Corner because we've obviously got, in about 30 minutes, we've got a massive announcement from the ECB. They've had a initial one this morning. If you've been living in a cave, they've basically said they're not going to raise or lower rates, going to keep rates the same. That's been actually a little bit damaging for the U.S. dollar and a little bit good for the euro. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the U.S. dollar on our charts right now, but I mean, things are just completely on the waiting game here for another 30 minutes, approximately another 30 minutes, because they're going to announce their buyback program, which is basically a replication of the system that we engineered, good or bad, a couple of years ago. And they're going to announce the amounts, and that's going to be just currency craziness, in my opinion. Some, they kind of bled some information in yesterday, as Tom was talking about, which was probably a good thing, not to just completely shatter the marketplace with a complete unknown. So they kind of bled in some information yesterday, but not all the information, and that'll be announced in about 25 minutes now. So here's the U.S. dollar. Here's the situation. We actually may break down on the U.S. dollar today. The euro may rally, but you've got an inflection point here to pay attention to on the dollar, and that's at around 92.76 right now, and we're trading 92.78 right now. It's the time of this report. This is real-time quotes we're looking at. So again, any breakdowns below there, and especially closes below there, you're going to have to kind of change the tone of the dollar for a little bit. We're going to be back in the fair auction in the long term. This is the daily chart. This is 91.17 down below. When we talked yesterday, I'm going to pull up the euro here really quick. Actually, and anything can happen, so I'm kind of thinking that, as usual, and not advising, but just maybe throwing this out there, that maybe you should wait until some of this information is out and then react accordingly. Trade the reaction instead of the action, as I like to call it. Here's got a new box that's appeared on the euro. Talked about this yesterday. We may have some new inflection points. We talked about this inflection point 117. Let's just call it 90 up here on the euro. That would be kind of the big move up, and to pay attention to if we break out of this current profile that's just appeared and locked in. So as I go into the scanner, and we're going to talk about a lot today on the scanner, but as we look at this, I'm just going to select none. I'm going to go into my currencies, and I see that Michael has not yet categorized these ETFs in the same place. Sorry about the disjointedness, but we do have the ETFs in here now for drill downs, and we were actually looking at those yesterday on Tom's show, the XO Elite, namely. I'll get into that in a second. Might find that kind of interesting if you didn't catch yesterday's show. Here's the currencies, and here's that euro new box appearing down below, 115.01 and 116.65 up top, and there's your levels for you right there. And I'm gonna blow this up so you can see that, and that's kind of where we lie right now. So 116, let me just make sure that's 116.65. So I'm going to go to my charts here and see that, try to blow this up. Those are those numbers, 116.65, and then down below 115.01. If everybody can see that. So those are the immediate things to pay attention to. I really feel like, this is going to be an exaggerated reaction one way or the other. Those are the initial breakout situations above and below. We're going to kind of watch this real time. And we're also going to pay attention to something else here. Let me pull it up. as we pull the scanner back up. We're going to kind of pay attention to what's going on with the Japanese yen and the dollar. Ruble's not really a big deal today. We're probably not going to cover that one. But as we look back at the dollar, and I'm going to pull up some short-term information on the dollar. This is the March contract. As you can see, started getting down. We've used the 240s to regulate this trade, as you can see on the dollar most of the way up here, especially recently after the breakouts above 87.88 on the dailies. But we kind of starting to show some weakness here. It might be kind of a foretelling situation here. Some people kind of get in before sometimes the news gets out ahead of time, and that may be a little bit of a harbinger of bad news for the dollar here. Harbinger of bad news for the dollar, excuse me. I got to tell you, this was Michelle Caruso Cabrera on CNBC. I just every once in a while hit CNBC and caught one little thing she was saying. She was in Greece talking about the pharmacies. If you guys caught that it was amazing that the pharmacies are only open. A pharmacist has to own a pharmacy, and they can only own one pharmacy, and you have to buy like every over-the-counter drug from there and everything. And she needs to go to the Philippines one time and see how that works over there. It is just the longest. The pharmacies are the coolest place to observe in the world. There's a zillion people standing in line, and you got to buy, even Tums there. It's kind of a crazy situation. So she really doesn't have a perspective on anything but the Greek situation there. But she should move around a little bit. Other countries treat pharmacies and drugs pretty seriously, other than we do. Okay, so let's take a look at the Japanese yen. All right, here we go. Here, 116.67 down below. I'm still not a big fan of shorting this product, even as we pass below. We kind of caught some bounces off support there of the buying situation, and then we closed below, and all bets were off on the intermediate. It was okay to be short, not okay to be long, and I'm really not a big fan of going short this product. We could have this thing pull back severely today based on what the dollar does, but the inflection points to pay attention to, again, on the scanner, without even having to look at the chart, 116.67 and 119.55. And by the way, a lot of people ask, this information is great on the scanner. For the layperson, without a lot of deep dissertation education on what we do in general, what do you do with all this information and how to use the breadths and things like that. So this week we're putting in paragraphs where you mouse over this thing, and it actually tells the story of what is the leverage, where the inflection points are, and gives you a little breadth information that you can hopefully use as a beta, high beta type, what side of the market to be on in the broad markets to trade underlying equity instruments that are in that particular index that we're doing the breadth on. And we just added 5 more breadths. Boom, there they are. They're in there. We're actually adding the Nikkei breadth today, I hope. So that thing's getting upgraded constantly. You got to take a look at it. You got to get a demo of it. And while we're talking about breadth, before this announcement, before the first break, as you can see, we've had, I'm going to go to our, let's see, I'm going to go to our futures. Where's that at? Here we go. And as that pops up, I'm going to go down to our S&Ps. Here we go. I think we're going to refresh right now. Sit tight. You put that aside for 2 seconds and wait for that chart to pop up. Here we go. As you can see, we are sitting well above that 2027 area now. All right, so that 2027, why is that important? And this is the level of the market. trading about 20.37 right now. Let me just kind of reset this. So right now, we're still within the fair auction on the dailies and the weeklies, but that 2027 area, which we've talked about religiously, and if you watch our daily videos, you'll catch that, was a big number to close above. We haven't closed above it yet. We closed right at that number yesterday, but breadth being positive, and as you can tell across the board, 2027 is going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to now. And if the dollar sells off at all, our market may kind of go up by default a little bit. I mean, we're going to have to pay attention to that. It's just going to be something we're going to kind of have to look at tick by tick here. If you're doing day trading, that 2027 area is going to be a big deal, considering as support with stops down below, now with breadth turning positive. Again, we haven't had a close above. We're going to have to pay attention to that, but that's the big number to pay attention to. And here's the S&Ps. And there's that 2027 area from the past. And the current targets above are 2052. And if we get that back down below 2027, we're going to have to look at some lower numbers, 1988, namely. Those are the numbers to pay attention to on the S&Ps. Looks like we got about 12 minutes before this ECB announcement on the buyback program. Cover a couple of things before that announcement. Them leaving interest rates the same. Let's just see. Are the ECB leaving interest rates the same? Let's see the downside targets here on the 10-year. Not a big fan of shorting this. Also, we've got 128.08 down below for a bid in the marketplace support, and 130.20.21 up top. That's the intermediate daily numbers. And again, you can grab hold of those with the scanner. There's the 10-year, and those are the numbers we just spoke of. These are in decimal format on the scanner. And there's the numbers that we just talked about. And there's the level of the market. And there's the support area, in my opinion. Okay. Got to take a look at oil right before the break here. We got about 30 seconds. Been talking about trying to buy the XLE. That's been the better trade, trying to nibble on crude oil, but we're getting back above now the 48.23 area. But again, not a big fan of buying crude oil. We're going to take a look at the XLE. And we talked about getting back above 74.18. That's worked out great. Pre-market, we're trading 77.53. So we'll be right back, folks. I hear the music. Hang in there.
How would you feel if you had a powerful decision-making tool that has the ability to find high-probability trading opportunities across multiple time frames in equities, currencies, and futures? Search no more. Take advantage of the best trade with the TAS Profile Scanner. Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to help them make the best and most accurate decisions. Scan over 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments for high-probability trading setups utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time, for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. Subscribers will also gain access to the December 9th workshop with John Logan. There's no obligation to pay anything. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com. Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. John takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. I got a big announcement in about 5 minutes, so we're going to try to cover quite a bit before that and go back to these currencies. XLE, this is what we were talking about before we got off the air last break. That 74.18, caught a little bit, really nice bid off of that, getting back below. I love the action. Closed back above here, got stopped out on the original idea, closing back above, retesting and heading higher. And this past week we reached a low of 73.93. So it was a great, close, go back and retest, former resistance, now support, and move higher. And right now we're trading actually in the 77.53, so we're actually a buck higher than what this weekly close is showing right now. So I got a really big wide box. First initial target 79.19 on the XLE, and what I did was I took the scanner and I also was drilling down into a filter, stocks trading above profiles here on the XLE, and was just trying to pick out some, things that were showing breaking of trend down and actually closing above profiles. We looked at APC yesterday. I'll just kind of review that really quick. APC, and this is one that was kind of picked out ahead of time. Even a better situation than the XLE, trying to use the XLE and then drilling down into the instruments as we pick the XLE ETF internals. Got a really good kick off of this, and that's from 76, picked it out right on the bottom, and 83.49. And this one really showed its hand early. 83.49 is the targets on this. Pre-market 81, basically. So we cleared profiles. That's what this is declaring. And 78.47 should be the stops oriented on APC, and I think we could climb a little bit higher, 83. So we got about a 12 to 13% move from weekly unfair lows here. And the good news is on an intermediate basis, I think you can orient stops around 78.47 on that particular type of trade. But again, this kind of painted the picture for you. There's APC. Let's take a look at Halliburton, HAL. That was in the same neighborhood, and here we go. So again, Halliburton getting back above the 39.29 area. This is our weekly chart. This is our daily, and actually breaking above profiles, going back and retesting. There we go, close below, come back and retest. And we may move higher on these oil stocks in the interim. And, trading these things from alongside instead of crude oil from a raw stance might be the higher probability situation, especially on a relative strength type trade. Let's look at PSX. This is something else off the scanner. Phillips 66 common stock. Is this a good situation? Is it a better situation? I don't think so. But again, we have broken profiles, and this is something I'd actually lay off of. I want to go back into Schlumberger, take a look at that. SLB. Here we go. Got back in the fair auction on the weekly. Here's the daily. God dang it. Here we go. Hold on. Let me get that back. All right. Okay. Schlumberger, similar situation. I know we broke profiles above before, but again, showing a little bit of relative strength here. 79.48 stops can be oriented down below. And we've kind of already closed above a couple of days and then retested that a couple of times. So, and pre-market we're trading 83 actually, so we're even higher than those daily prints I just showed on Schlumberger. Chevron, CVX, and as you can see, these things are moving up, nicely in the face of crude oil really just kind of stopping going down, and that's what we talked about. If crude oil can just stop going down, a lot of these stocks which have shown relative strength may get a little bit of a pop here. And that's the cool thing about using relative strength and using the scanner to try to pick out some of these things that are holding in there or giving you leverage points to key off of. CVX, I like this one too, 106.13 down below 108.16 right now pre-market, and we're trading, 109.22 pre-market. So again, stops can be oriented around some of these inflection points. We're doing here. Got a little bit of a problem on the screen. Okay. All right, let's go back to the euro, because on the break there's going to be some craziness happening here. Here's the situation on the euro, just to repaint those numbers. 116.66 down below 105, 115.01. We'll be right back, folks.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how EverBank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? EverBank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Looking at the euro here, so we're kind of just bouncing around here, 161.10. I guess we're still waiting. So we're going to continue moving forward here. Damn it. Hold on 2 seconds. Machine locking up here. Let's see here. Here we go. Going to retake a look at the notes here. Had some weekly jobless claims come out. Again, the numbers on the notes here, 128.0809 down below, 130.2021 up top, kind of sitting in no man's land right now. But again, trend is still in force on the north side, and I'm not a big fan of selling notes or bonds. Let's see here. All right, we're going to take a look at gold. Gold's going to have probably some movement when this thing gets going here. You know, I was joking yesterday. I was, you know, it's terrifying to try to short gold. In my opinion, we've reached some targets above this 1300 area. We talked about yesterday, 1295 and then 1303. That was kind of the resting point. Possibly, we may have a new profile appearing here. Got an orange bar appearing on Vega. If you're using Bloomberg, these boxes actually readjust and float around on this particular bar when we see an orange bar. But right now, we're waiting for something new to lock in. That's how this works on the rest of the platforms out there. 1289 current price on gold on the, let's see here. Okay. And the short-term numbers on gold, as the kind of the 240s have regulated this long trade up, as we've been talking about for a while. 1283 down below, short term 1297 up top. So I feel like we're probably going to move one way or the other, above here or below here. And the major move has probably happened up into that 1300 area on this, in my opinion. So we may rattle around here, but again, major resistance around that 1300 area. And the cool thing is that we've been talking longs breaking above 1200 for a while. So $100 move in gold is possibly not a bad thing to take some off the table at this stage. Going into grains really quick, we've been following these. Just want to kind of give some updates. Beans may have a new profile appearing down here. We've talked about this 983 area being targets on this move down, trading right above there right now. Talked about that the other day. We've had about a 60-70 cents move down in beans since we talked about that. And right now we're at support. This was kind of the target area on here. We're going to have to pay attention to this. I've had some people telling me they think beans are going to go into $8 area, but a lot of people jump on the short bandwagon when we have a big move down. But right now that's kind of a holding area. We're going to have to wait and see on beans for the next stage on beans, and wait for a weekly close to happen tomorrow, obviously, and try to figure out some new bearings on beans in general. We took a look at crude oil a while ago, so we got some of the bellwethers out of the way here. We're going to take a look at some stocks that are coming out with news earnings today. And we're looking at BB&T. This is something in my backyard here. So North Carolina Bank. I think it's it's 11. Let's say it's the 11th largest bank in the nation now, which is amazing. I didn't realize that. 35.25 inflection points down below 36.44. I'm just kind of on the XLF, and all the financials, if you're watching this show, have been relatively bearish. That news is not out yet. This is the XLF. And this is the leverage point, in my opinion, on the XLF. We've been talking about this. We closed below, went back and almost retested it to the tick here. 2370 up top was that breakdown point, and we've reached a high back this week of 2365. So that was one of those closes below. Go back and retest the inflection point. The targets are 23 down below and even lower on the XLF, in my opinion. And we're going to take a look at some financials. JP Morgan. I think, again, we're always trying to figure out how to eliminate one side of the marketplace. Eliminating the long side on this particular situation, on this sector, I think is not a bad idea, as we've had a lot of these stocks start showing some technical weakness, more so than what the market has done lately. So here's JP Morgan. Here's the inflection points to pay attention to. Got a new box that has appeared today, 55.14. Unfair lows. These are all on the scanner. 57.06 up top. So a lot of people are saying, well, what do you do here? What do you do now? I think you wait for some retracements back up into that possible inflection point up top, 57.06, for more shorting opportunities on JP Morgan, and breakdowns below 55.14 on that stock. We talked about this one, and we talked about looking at leveraging on the short side below 192.68 on Goldman Sachs. Let's see what we're doing pre-market here. We're trading 177.90. So we've kind of closed below, gone back and retested this. We're sitting right around that area. I still think this, stops can be oriented on Goldman Sachs, 177 on the short side, right above. Here's the daily. We started having those breakdowns and retesting, and this has been, wow. $20 move in Goldman Sachs from where that breakdown started at 192.68. A couple other things coming out today. And on the earnings scene, we looked at Charles Schwab the other day. We're going to look at E-Trade. These brokers have seriously had their margins creamed. 27.96. Closed below. This is Charles Schwab. Okay, so the ECB is coming out. Let's just kind of roll back into currencies here, because this is now, okay, here we go. And obviously the ECB is ramping up more so than what they talked about. The buyback program, and the currencies are getting the euro's getting hammered down here. And there we go. We're targets down below 115.01. And if we close below there, it's going to be probably clear sailing even farther down on the euro. Here's the situation on the 240s. 115.01. Bottom of the box on the dailies. And we've reached a low of 115.13. So 12 ticks from that. And we're just kind of hanging out down there right now. That may be support on this. Let's just see how this holds. And I actually did some Nadex plays on this just to kind of buy some lottery tickets. So 20. Let's take a look at the dollar. So that 115.01 is held. Here's the dollar. Not reacting too violently to that. Here's the S&Ps climbing, as we had talked about. 2043. Let's see what I got going over here. Let's go back to the euro. All right, so it looks like we temporarily found a bottom off of these unfurlows. And by the way, just get rid of Halliburton here. There's a lot of things flashing right now. Ooh, hold on. Let's go back into our scanner. Doing this on the, let's see, select none, currencies. Get rid of my sorting. There's our landscape view. There's that 1501. As you can see, we're just hanging tight right there, but that basically almost to the tick was the downside target on that move, and we may actually bounce from here. Trading up a little bit since then. There's those targets. There's the landscape view. Here's the scanner, real-time updating. Updates every 60 seconds. All right, so let me go back to this. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but we're trying to monitor as many things that might be affected. Let's take a look at gold really quick. See how that's being treated. Where are we at? Here we go. All right, so we talked about short-term top here at 1297. Looks like that's holding a little bit here. So, you know, gold may have found some tops, and news is out around that 1300 area. We talked about maybe taking some profits there. We're still hanging in a range on a short term. We've moved up, what, 10 or 15 bucks since that announcement, or no, yeah, approximately. Here's the 60. We're gonna have to have a close above 1300, guys, on gold, and this may be a little bit of a lid here in the interim based on what we've been talking about. 1295 and the 1303 is going to be that DMZ up top on gold right now, and we'd have to have a close above to even look at that as a retest area, as a buy point. So that's where we're at. Euro. Let's take a look at the dollar again. It's kind of weird. The dollar's not really reacting in the best way possible for this euro selling off right now. It's kind of weird. Sorry, I'm kind of speechless trying to look at too many things off screen here. 115.01 seemingly holding on the euro. That's interesting. So we may be range bound here. 115.01 up to 116.65. And the euro's bouncing off of that. Amazing, those inflection points, how powerful they are sometimes. Wow. Amazing. Buy the news. And the dollar should be reacting very badly to this. And it's not. Weird. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Let's take a look at gold again as the euro is climbing. Gold not exactly liking this here. As we expect, if the euro climbs, gold's going to more than likely sell off a little bit here. So keep your eye on the euro. That's kind of driving everything. The currencies really, really portend a lot of. Oh my God, this thing is really climbing back. $115.13 was the lows. $115.01 was our inflection point down there in a super volatile time. Okay, we're going to monitor that. Keep monitoring that. I want to pull up some stocks here. Again, keep your eye on some of these things today. We're going to look back at E-Trade, ETFC. And E-Trade is going to be announcing after the market today. Inflection point is 21.56 to pay attention to 22.93 up top. Any closes below 21.56, this thing's going to have more technical damage on the downside. Any rallies up into 22.93 more than likely can be sold on E-Trade. Starbucks, we're going to pay attention to after the market today. Pull that up. Here's a long-term on Starbucks. This is going to be interesting to watch this come out. I've been kind of really in a range here for a long time on Starbucks. 80.94. Any migrations below 80.94 are going to have to be sold, in my opinion, on this. And any rallies up into 83.33 can be sold. But I feel like this is going to be not the greatest news in the world on Starbucks. So keep that particular inflection point in mind. Let's go back and revisit the euro really quick, because this thing is just all over the place. Whew, that is wild to watch this thing trade like that. Let's take a look at the yen. This is the short term on the yen. 117.57. Looks like the yen and the dollar just want to hang in there on this announcement. And the unfair highs on the dollar have held, actually. 92.76 up top. This is the daily inflection point that we've got to pay attention to. Any closes below there is going to be really damning for the dollar, but the dollar's hanging in there as the euro is just bouncing around like a beach ball here. And staying within the daily range, I might add. Wow, that's amazing. 115.01 unfair lows. We may revisit that, but as of right now, that looks like a support area on the euro in general. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the notes and the bonds and try to do a little analysis before we end the show today. We'll be right back, folks.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Steve Rhodes as he teaches techniques on technical analysis using pattern recognition, celestial charting, Fibonacci, and other tools. The Trader's Edge, next on TFNN.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. This is the U.S. dollar. We've found support off this 92.76 area today. We reached a low of 92.67. Euro's hanging in there, but just a wild time. And the dollar's obviously 30% of the dollar is comprised of the euro, so it's kind of an inverse relationship to say the least. Here's the euro. Got that big announcement that's happened. We're trading below 240s now, or just all over the place down here. But we found support around that 115.01 area, which we talked about was the inflection point down below on the daily euro unfair lows here on our profile. So again, that may be support on the euro. You got to pay attention to that. That would be kind of something to leverage against if we go back there and revisit that area. We talked about the yen, not selling the yen ever. That's still the case. Here's the situation on the yen. Any moves down on the yen, the 116.67 more than likely have to be bought. Let's take a look at the S&Ps. They're all over the place. Dollar rallying. The S&Ps are kind of getting back into relaxing mode here, but remember our breadth is positive across all time frames here as of the close, just reminding you of that. And so many things are going to be affected today by this announcement, even though it hasn't had a super violent move one way or the other. There's going to be a lot of position adjusting based on the euro. All right, we talked about basically never shorting the bonds and notes. That's been the case here. And here's the situation on the 240s on the 10-year. Again, we may have a new profile here to key off of here on the 10-year note. 129.07 sitting right now. It's kind of a do nothing right now on the notes, in my opinion, and waiting for some leverage points to be approached. Here's a 30-year. Almost got down to support before we had a little bit of a bounce there. 147.02 are the levels on the 30-year for support. Again, not wanting to short this thing. Back in the fair auction on the 30-year around 148.20, and movements about there probably could be bought on the 30-year. Let's take a look at gold. Short-term range sticking right in there, 1297 down below 1283 on the bottom. Again, major resistance around 1295 to 1303, that 8-point range up there. We climbed about 100 points since the 1200 breakout on gold. And we got about a minute left here, so we're going to go back to the euro. Let me pull that up. Levels to be aware of, again, 115.01, 116.65 up top on the euro. Market's digesting all this. S&Ps are positive. 2027 is going to be that major support on the S&Ps down here. Just to point that out, we got to go to the NASDAQ and just give some numbers here. 41.20 down below support on the NASDAQ. Any breakdowns below there, all bets are off for the longs. Remember, breadth positive on the NASDAQ too. Resistance up top on the NASDAQ, 42.10. So we may be a little range bound here. That's the daily unfair highs, and the weekly unfair lows, 41.20 and 42.10 on the NASDAQ. Guys, you've been great. Steve Rhodes is next. We'll pick it back up again tomorrow. Thanks very much.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This is TFNN.